The reveal of Henry and Sam at the finale of episode 4 undoubtedly had fans of the games ecstatic to see two of their favourite characters finally introduced on the show. And much like the incredible third episode dedicated to Bill and Frank, this time we get another expansion of the lore with the beginning of episode 5 dedicated to Henry and his deaf son Sam and how they survived not just during the outbreak but also inside Kathleen's overthrown Kansas QZ. The relationship between Henry and Sam doubles down on one of The Last of Us' strongest thematic explorations, how fathers have the primal need to protect their young, whether it's emotionally or physically. However, with Sam being deaf, the added barrier of trying to help him understand what is happening in the world is not easy for Henry, as he simply just can't find a way to communicate this to his son. Kathleen discovers that Henry is responsible for the death of her brother, and this forces Henry and Sam to hide out for days in a room with limited food and supplies, while Kathleen's militia hunts them down. During this time, Sam's affinity for comic books lends as an opening for Henry to explain the tragic toll of the outbreak and have a frank conversation about death that puts even more fear into Sam. But in a truly touching moment, Henry puts paint on Sam's face, much like the mask of a superhero, and instills the confidence into Sam to move out of the room they've been hiding in now that the food has run out. This brings us up to date with Sam and Henry finding Joel and Ellie in the hotel, and while they're not entirely trusting of each other at first, an apprehensive team up between the two becomes their only ticket out of Kansas and out of Kathleen's revenge-filled sight. This leads to an exhilarating, tense, and violent confrontation when Kathleen and her army catch up to the group escaping. But a rogue sniper sets off a domino effect of events that leads to a truck ramming into a house above one of the sinkholes that Kathleen has been concerned about, and all hell breaks loose when an ungodly wave of infected emerge, causing a catastrophic attack on anyone in their sights. This is one of the biggest action set pieces in the show since the Outbreak episode. It's brutal, it's violent, and it's a lot of fun when some mutated and demented forms of clickers and infected emerge from the darkness. However, it wouldn't be The Last of Us without a heartbreaking and intense final few moments that once again doubles down on the bleak reality of this post-apocalyptic world. An audience will no doubt be shocked at where this episode leads to. In saying that, this is another brilliant episode of the show that expands on the lore, creates authentic emotional stakes, and has exciting, intense action. Episode 5 of The Last of Us gets a 4 out of 5.